This is Ryan Watches a Movie, where we get our friend Ryan to watch a movie and tell us what he thought.
Going balls out in the lumberyard, watching the grunion crawl magi. Little kids got naked and had lots of sex. Don't even waste your time.
Hello and welcome to Ryan Watches a Movie. This is episode number 95. My name is Adam. Today we're joined by Kevin. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing alright.
And we're also joined by Ryan. How are you?
I think I'm gonna get made fun of for this.
Nice. Good. Great. What movie do we have you watch?
Paradise Love.
Paradise Love. This is in honor of Paradise Hope coming out this Friday. The final one in the series. This is actually the first one in the series. Probably should have had you watch the second one just to make it even more confusing. Even though they're not related. Well, not directly related. This is directed by Ulrich Seidel. I do have a synopsis here. On the beaches of Kenya, they're known as sugar mamas, European women who seek out African boys selling love to earn a living. Teresa, a 50-year-old Austrian and mother of a daughter entering puberty, travels to this vacation paradise. She goes from one beach boy to the next, from one disappointment to the next, and finally she must recognize, on the beaches of Kenya, love is a business. Ryan, what did you think of Paradise Love?
I hated it. I think it was supposed to be good, but I hated it.
What? I am shocked.
It was fucking boring to me. And there were old women naked having sex with the young dudes. There's lots of penis.
Yeah.
There were some mentally challenged people at the beginning in bumper cars.
Oh, I
yeah.
did see that portion.
I felt really terrible, but it made me laugh. Just because of the camera. Like, when it's like a camera angle directly on the person's face. And they're supposed to be driving the bumper cars. But it looks like they're just spinning around in circles. And I don't even know why that's in there.
I did enjoy the bumper car. The one guy that, like, his right hand, he had it up like it was sort of like in a gun shape the entire time that he was driving around. That guy, I loved that. He looked like he was having so much fun. I've never wanted to be in bumper cars more in my life.
I just, they all got angry and, like, beat the hell out of each other. Because, alright, I'm not even gonna go there.
Moving on, what else happens in the movie other than mentally challenged people in bumper cars?
Well, that's what, like, I thought that was gonna be a big part, but I still don't understand why. Because there's none of them in the rest of the movie. And the characters that were in the bumper cars weren't in the movie, the rest of the movie. So I don't understand why they're in there. But there's lots of penis, and I kind of thought some of it was a little racist. Because at one point, they call the Kenyans them, like they call them black boys, and then they call them.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, like, I don't call anyone them. I call them, I describe them or call them by their name.
Well, yeah, and that's actually part of what they kind of discuss in this movie is that these men they're just objects. Like, they're just, property that you can buy and use and then you're done and that's it. Like, they don't really look at them like they're actually people to form relationships with, except for that's kind of the whole thing is like the main woman in this movie is she's single, she's lonely, she's middle-aged and she's kind of looking for something more than just sex. And that's where she maybe made a little bit of a mistake, because that's pretty much all you do in this place is meet dudes and have sex with them and buy them things.
There you go. There's a vacation.
No, no.
You're not.
Wait, no.
I have a feeling you're going to Kenya next year.
I
I can feel it.
wouldn't mind going to Kenya, but I'm not having sex with dudes because I'm a middle-aged woman. And yeah.
I'm gonna.
If I'm going on vacation, I'm going because it's a cool place, not to bang dudes.
Yeah, and that was kind of the interesting thing about one of the interesting things about this movie is that the resort that they were staying at was beautiful. I mean, it was just amazing looking, and like the beaches were awesome. And then like when they would go to these guys' houses, they would be like so run down and horrible looking. I mean, they would live in like these little shacks.
Yeah, most of them look like one room. The guy's like, here's my couch, and then points over his shoulder, here's my bed. In the same room with my kitchen and my bathroom.
It's such a bizarre movie. Like, the way that it works is like these guys, they just stand there on the beach and wait for the women to come up and like buy them. It's so weird.
Then they like flock to them and try to sell them little trinkets.
Yeah.
And that's how they attach themselves.
Yeah, they're really abrasive.
And then of course there's the one that's like, hey, leave her alone. I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, and then he weasels his way in.
Yep.
Oh God. So, for those of you that aren't aware of this series, it's actually 3 movies. There's Paradise, Love, Faith, and Hope, and they're all loosely connected in that the main characters from each movie are related in some way or another, and they all have like a major theme in them. And I think that it's really funny that we made you watch this one, because this is like not a movie that you would ever see, and I like the idea of thinking about you watching this.
It is hilarious. I really wish that I was there for this.
I remember when I saw this movie, and I saw this like a couple years ago now, I guess, and it was like really disturbing. Like, I was really disturbed by this movie because it's pretty gross, and there's just so much awkwardness that happens in this movie where you're just like, oh God.
There's a lot of awkwardness. And going back to the point where the women go there for love, you would have thought that, okay, the girl meets a guy, gives what he calls his sister, it's actually his wife.
Yeah.
All kinds of money, and then finds out it's his wife. Then goes back to another dude and does the same thing. Then goes back to a third dude and doesn't. You would think she would learn by the second or third time that these dudes are only after money and nothing else.
Right, like, so what they do is they kind of guilt trip the women. So there's this group of women, and she's not the only one. It should be noted. Like, she goes there by herself, but she meets up with some other Austrian women there. So it's like a group of them, and they're just ravenous for men. Like, they are just ravenous for these dudes, and the guys eat it up, and they kind of guilt trip them into paying money, like exorbitant amounts of money for different things. Like, I think that there was a scene where, doesn't he take her to like a school or something, and they were like, oh, they need money for the school,
and she was like, what? I don't have any money. He's like, give me the money now.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, here's money.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I really wish you were able to see this one before we talked about it, Kevin. 'cause
I wish I knew. I wish I knew that this is what he was watching.
yeah.
Kevin,
'Cause
are you on Wikipedia right now?
Yeah,
Alright, read under plot.
under plot.
Read the second to last sentence.
She invites the bartender
Yes,
to
yes.
her resort into her room and instructs him to kiss her genital area, which he politely declines. Angrily, she tells him to get out.
Yeah.
So that happens, bro?
That's what goes on in this movie.
And then now, is that, like, does she mistakenly think that he's one of the,
Well,
prostitutes or whatever that they are?
Now I'm kind of far removed from the movie at this point. I should have watched it again, but if I remember correctly, when that happens, she's kind of at the end of her rope by that point, right? Like this is when she's kind of losing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's kind of losing it at this point, and she, I think, was kind of flirting with the bartender before.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, sorta.
So she's just like, this is near the end of the trip. She's just kind of like, fuck it, I'm gonna go for it.
Doing it all out.
Then it does happen and she gets pissed.
And then but he does politely decline. Which I would imagine, does he just stand there and go, no, thank you.
Oh, I just remembered the one scene, the party scene, and when it's all the women in the hotel room and they get all the dudes to come in.
And
that was
there's
so
there's wieners flying everywhere.
Wieners everywhere, older women. Very disturbing. Very disturbing. I guess we can talk about the director. I don't really know anything else he did other than these 3 movies. Are you aware of his other stuff? Dog Days?
I haven't
Have you seen that?
seen any of his other films. I've heard of Import Export, which was his last movie before the Paradise trilogy back in 2007. That's the only one I've really actually even heard of.
I heard of Dog Days, but I didn't see it. And that was actually the only one that I've heard of. So
I don't think I'll be watching any of them.
That's what you think.
Yeah. Just wait.
Next week is Paradise Faith, asshole.
Yeah, so Paradise Faith is also that's out, right? Is that on Netflix or
I
something?
think that one's out. Yeah, Paradise Live is actually Play Instant on Netflix.
Yeah, I knew that.
Um,
And I know that Paradise Faith is like out on
yeah,
DVD, I think.
but I don't think it's actually Play Instant like the other one. But it is out.
These all came out at the same time. But here in the States, I think that they used some kind of like staggered release. Because I'm pretty sure Ernie saw like almost all of them together.
That's a goddamn shame.
It would have been great if we could have forced you to watch all 3 in one sitting.
No, I would have
God.
politely
No, that would've-
declined.
Politely. Oh God, that would have been a week ruiner. These are pretty depressing movies. Like
What
Paradise
are you talking
Love
about
was.
a week around there? There'll be a life ruiner.
Yeah, the titles are kind of misleading because most of these are anything but Paradise. They're pretty awful. I also love in this one just the kind of juxtaposition of her before she leaves on the trip and how she's this kind of like wholesome mom, you know, and then she gets over there and she just lets loose.
Her daughter also made me want to punch her in the face.
Oh, is that so?
Why
Her-
you want to punch the daughter?
Her daughter, like, I don't know, it seems like her mom tries everything and to be nice to her, and she just doesn't let it happen. And then it's her mom's birthday, and her mom has to call her on the phone.
Yeah.
An asshole.
Well, who's the okay? The daughter is, I think the daughter in the Paradise Love is the same daughter as the main character in Paradise Hope. I think.
Well, I'll definitely make it up when I watch it.
Because I just saw Paradise Hope not long ago, but I can't remember what the daughter looked like in Paradise Love, but they are all connected. Like the main character of Paradise Faith, I think, is she's related to them in some way. She's like the mom or something of the woman.
I also like at the beginning when the lady was taking our daughter to stay with a friend. They brought the cat carrier. The lady's like, "You brought a cat?" And she's like, "Yeah." They're like, we'll just keep the litter box outside. And the girl's like, "No, the cat will run away." And they put it outside anyway.
Where did cat come from? I'm so confused now.
I don't. They
You mean,
just
just
that
like
wasn't like.
A cat just popped up?
I don't think you ever actually see a cat. You just see the cat letterboxing her.
Well, they give the cat to the main character from Paradise Faith, and she takes care of it. So the cat actually comes back in that movie because she's taking care of the cat.
Is it all about the cat?
I think it might be all about the cat.
I think it's about the cat. I think we cracked it. We did it.
I don't think we see the cat in Paradise Hope, though. I'm trying to remember if there was like a little scene, maybe. Because Paradise Hope actually almost all of it takes place at a fat camp. A very, very weird fat camp. All right, well, let's go ahead and give you your drum roll on this, Ryan. Oh, by the way, I don't know if Ernie reviewed this one. I was trying to find his review, and I couldn't find it on here on the site. But he did mark it as one of his mid-year top 10s.
Nope.
Yeah, like I said, it was my wife's probably one of her favorites this year. She also said that it's one of the saddest films she's ever seen.
It is incredibly sad. But I remember talking about that on my last year's top 10, so I probably couldn't use it this year. I don't know if it was on my top 10.
Dude, you can do whatever you want.
I guess I can.
That's right.
I guess I can.
It's your podcast.
I think Paradise Love is still my favorite out of all of them. Although I did really enjoy all three. I thought that they were pretty fantastic. So with that said, Ryan, what do you give Paradise Love?
4.
4. Come on, you know the
fucking asshole.
Going
you know
into
that
it.
shit was a 2.
Yeah, you were saying 2 going into it. I guarantee it.
No, I was gonna give like a 6 or a 7.
Oh,
Because like I said, I knew it was supposed to be good, but not for me.
Not for you.
I do like that you do have this uncanny ability to recognize when a film is supposed to be good.
I
Like,
think
without
it's
really
like
knowing.
the dialogue, I think. Or like if it creates a good story in my head, even if I don't like it, it doesn't mean it's not supposed to be good.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when you see a movie like this, the cinematography is really good.
Yeah.
And the dialogue is really good. I loved everything about this movie. I thought it was so weird. It was just right up my alley.
I kind of want to go to Kenya though.
I want to go to Kenya.
I do remember, I think, seeing that their beaches were insane.
Yeah.
They're so crystal clear.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
This fucking like on the cover, there's 5 chicks in lawn chairs laying on the beach, and there's just dudes everywhere just staring at them.
Yeah, they just stand there. They just stand there and stare. It's so weird. I love it.
I know.
And
I was looking at the poster, and it's scary.
I wanna go there.
I'd be so creeped out.
I want to go there just to witness this. Like, I want to see this in action.
Stand on the sidelines with a bag of popcorn.
I just want to see this happen. And like it seemed like they were all Austrian women. Like what
It-
is it do American women do this too? Like I want to know more about this phenomenon.
I think Kenyans or Africans in general think that most European women are rich. I think.
Well, yeah. I don't know
I
about
think.
that.
Well, I think a lot of them, if you think about it, they probably think that they have some amount of money because they at least have enough money to travel.
Right, and be at this nice
Yeah.
resort because the resort is really nice.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's a similar thing with like guys going to Thailand. You know, I think that there's a
Yeah,
similar.
yeah.
It's just like the reverse. It's the reverse of that.
I wonder what they do for guys in Kenya. Like, I
don't know.
wonder
That's
if
a good-
there's
that's a good
beats
question.
of dude or beats of girls just standing there staring at people.
That's a good question, and that might be something that we have to investigate.
What, whether or not there are prostitutes
know.
in a country? There's prostitutes in every country, everywhere.
Like if they do it the same way,
I
though,
doubt they
where
do
they
it
just
the same
stand
way.
there. They stand there looking buff.
No,
And in board
I
shorts.
don't think they could do it that way.
Yeah,
'Cause I don't think it would be safe.
probably not. Probably not. But either way, very odd movie, and I recommend all three of them. Actually, I think that if you see one, you should stick it out and see the other two.
That's directed at you, Ryan.
Yeah. With that being said, Ryan,
Nope.
how do you feel about Paradise Hope? No.
Nope.
So Paradise Hope is about a young girl. She's like 14 or something. She goes to a fat camp for the summer.
Oh,
And it's sort of like a coming of age thing.
Ryan? Huh?
no,
Huh?
I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah.
And Paradise Faith is about a woman who she goes on vacation. She goes on like a staycation and decides to drive around essentially trying to like preach the gospel to people, and she goes door to door and talks about Jesus.
Right.
Oh, good.
And there's
some-
Good.
Huh?
That makes me not want to see it even
There-
more.
There's
Huh?
a particularly disturbing sex scene in Paradise Faith.
Is there a disturbing sex scene in all of them?
There is. Yes, there is.
I
There's one in
figured.
Hope. There's one in Paradise Hope too.
I just when you tell me, and just this is just on my part, but when you tell me Austrian, I just automatically think that there's a disturbing sex scene for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Eastern European. Wait,
A lot of these,
Austria
yeah, like-
Eastern?
I think I've compared these movies to like some of the independent Greek films that have been coming out as of late, you know, like Attenborough and Dogtooth and like these types of things where it's like weird and kind of creepy and it gets under your skin
Yeah.
and it just kind of sticks with you for a while. I don't think that they're like majorly fucked up or anything.
No.
This,
but-
no, it's
They're surprisingly light. Like they're not as bad as what you would expect.
you don't see penetration, but you do see abundance of wiener.
Yeah, you do see a lot of weenie going on. All right.
Good.
Any final thoughts, Ryan, on Paradise Love?
No, I'm done.
Done. Okay.
Yeah, I'm done. As in, I'm not watching this or anyone other ever again.
Send him Dog Days at some point.
I should.
Because
I
it
actually
does,
wanna see
it
that
does,
now.
it does have unsimulated sex scenes. And I do
Nice.
remember now that John Waters is a huge fan.
Oh,
See.
he
This was
that's
the,
what
the trilogy.
that's what originally turned me on to these movies, because back in like 2012 or 2011 he had all three of them on his top 10,
Yeah,
and I was
and
like, holy shit, I
and I-
gotta see these.
I think actually this year too at the Baltimore Film Festival, he always picks like
Yeah.
a film to and he presents it and everything. And I think that the trilogy was his pick this year.
Well, when you see him, I mean, it is definitely right up his alley. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it sounds like it.
definitely the kind of movie that he would be into. And I did see that, as a complete side note, that Spring Breakers was his #1 movie this year.
Wow.
See, that movie I enjoyed the shit out of.
Yeah, because it's presented in a much more mainstream way.
Yeah.
Plus, you didn't have to read any subtitles.
Yeah, no
And
subtitles.
there was no wiener.
There was no
There
wiener.
there was no wiener. Does like wiener automatically drop down or like take stars off for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it like a half star for each wiener you see?
No, it's just
What if
at the end of watching it, if I'm like, wow, it's a lot of wiener. It's like one sorbet, two down. But if
what if
it's
it's-
just some wiener, I'm just like, alright, do they have a star wiener?
But what if it's like in a? Because I was actually just talking to my girlfriend about this recently. Because I don't know how we got on it. We were talking about Wolf of Wall Street, how it got an NC-17 rating at first, and how she was like, "Well, why do you think it got that?" And I was like, "Well, because of sex. There was probably some wiener in it or something." And it made me think, like, why is it that the MPAA is so harsh on wiener unless it's in a comedic way? And I can't remember what movie it was. Ryan, you probably know this, but there was a movie that came out a couple years ago, and there was a scene that took place in a hotel room, and it might have been Get Him to the Greek. And there was a scene in a hotel room where the dude's face was like right in somebody's wiener, and it was like on screen forever.
Yeah.
But
I can't remember what movie that was.
Isn't wieners aren't wieners always showcased in an amusing light? I mean, they're just
see,
funny. They're always
just
funny.
But it's funny because like that movie had tons of wiener in it, like close-up wiener. And then you have a movie like Shame, which doesn't have that much wiener in it at all, and that gets slapped with an NC-17.
Oh God.
I just find it interesting how the MPAA decides, like, okay, well, this has some wiener, but it's comedic wiener, so we're cool with that. But if they show sexy wiener, we're not cool with that.
It did make me laugh at the end of this when they're having the party in the hotel room, and the dude's like stripping, and he does the old helicopter wiener.
Yeah.
That made me laugh.
Oh God.
I don't know if it was supposed to, but it did.
I would like to get a count of how many times we said wiener during
Oh,
this.
tons. Well, that's the thing. Like, these movies are presented as comedies, I think. They're dark comedies. I remember laughing throughout all of them. I mean, Paradise Faith might be a little bit more serious, but it's still pretty funny. Like, it's still kind of ridiculous.
You're thinking of the dude's face beside the wiener was there is Jason Sudeikis and Owen Wilson. Hall Pass.
Is that what it was? Hall Pass?
Yeah.
I love your just encyclopedia knowledge of wieners in movies. Like, you're like the wiener movie database. You're just
Well,
able to
that-
just
that
pull that
was-
out of nowhere.
That one made me laugh a lot.
I just remember a hotel room and a wiener being in his face.
Ryan mentally logs all wieners from films.
That's incredible.
Unbelievable, Ryan. Bravo.
WMDB, the Wiener Movie Database.
Bravo.
You need to go start working for. I think that they did make a version of Mr. Skin that's for wieners. You need to start working for them.
Yeah, I'm into that. I'll do it. I have knowledge.
You do that. Drop some knowledge on them.
Oh, God.
Paradise Love, 1 hour, 35-minute, bam, wiener.
Helicopter wiener.
Helicopter.
Paradise Love. wiener every fucking 2 minutes.
I wonder what that got rated, if it had a rating.
I doubt it has a
Just
rating.
out of curiosity.
I
I
doubt
don't think it does one.
Because to me, like, that shouldn't be... To me, it should be R-rated. Like, just R. But I guarantee if they did submit it, it would get NC-17.
it. Well, that's the thing that I love about foreign movies. They don't even fucking care. They're just like, I'm not gonna submit it. Whatever.
No, because what's the point? Like, what's the point of them submitting it? Because they're going to get the same amount... Like, the same theaters are going to play their movie regardless. Like... the rating system is really only to cater towards multiplexes.
And I would love to see this in a multiplex with
I would
like
cry
the crowd around here would be awesome.
It'd be like me seeing Post Tenebris Lux in Sarasota and having people just be like, "What?" and just getting up and leaving. Yeah, love it. Although we all did see, or Kevin, you and I saw Killer Joe at a multiplex, right?
Yeah, that was actually everyone handled that pretty well. Actually, it was a surprise. I think there was like one old guy that was just like, "Whoa, I'm bad." Nope.
Nope.
I didn't know this is going on out of here, and it took him like 10 minutes to leave.
Oh God, amazing! I love movies that make people squirm.
It is fun to see. It's fun to experience.
I take it you were doing some squirming in this, Ryan? Do a little squirm?
I'm a pretty goddamn lucky and squirming. I'm a wheelchair.
All right. Well, I think that'll wrap it up. For all the latest film news and reviews, visit us at filmpulse.net. Send us an email, feedback@filmpulse.net. Follow us on Twitter @filmpulse.net, and be sure to rate us on iTunes. We appreciate that very much. For filmpulse.net, my name is Adam.
I'm Kevin.
Yeah,
We'll see you on Monday.
Bis später.
What was this?
She said, "Oh, now when I do this every day, she don't want it on a rainy day. She don't want no more. She don't want no more." Say the girl says she's sick of that. Too much attention, so she.
What is
Bis später.